Motivational connection statements are a really useful tool if we're struggling to get ourselves in the right frame of mind to do treatment. So this could be ERP, exposure response prevention, is really difficult. We're avoiding it because we don't want to poke the hornet's nest and exacerbate symptoms, or life is distracting us and it's easier to go towards those distractions rather than face it head on, or we've had a relapse, setback, or we haven't had the results we're looking for from ERP. Um, Other reasons, the fears have just gotten too big, or the emotions are too overwhelming. We've lost insight. I often say to my clients, well, let's increase our motivation reflections. So this would look like creating a motivation statement, which really, in my mind, is this combination of what are the benefits of of making the change and what are the costs of staying where we are. And we can think about this as values and goals and workability in ACT. So values and goals are the type of life we want to be living and be pursuing, and what that looks like in qualities of action and goals. So values and goals. And we want to keep that really simple, not too philosophical. So, values can sometimes seem philosophical, but they should be simple. It should be qualities of action like being courageous, being compassionate, being playful, being focused, motivated, whatever. And what does that mean day to day? What does that mean in action when I'm with people, when I'm at work, when I'm on my own, the way I spend my time? Real concrete definition of values, goals, actions, and what we want to move towards. And if it's all confusing, just go for the actions, the simple goals. Set a few goals that are the things you want to do in your life, and use those as that part of it. And then the cost of staying where we are, you can do a workability practice of going through what it's giving you, what the behaviors are giving you that are keeping you doing it. So sometimes it's false comfort. It's the sense that, at some point I had a bit more certainty, or it feels like I'm avoiding a danger, or I'm reducing my symptoms, things like that. But reality long term, it's having these costs and it isn't working. If we look at the bigger picture and we're really honest about what's happening with our symptoms, is it might be slightly dampening stuff, but they're all the time, they're getting worse over time, still breaks through and gets really tricky. It's not really getting rid of the symptoms. And then what are these costs? What are these costs in terms of relationships, in terms of work, in terms of play, in terms of health? What is it taking away from us? It's distracting us from important things. It's taking up time. It's not giving us a good shot at recovery to show our brain that we can handle this distress and we can move towards values, and lots of other things. So you work out, a big long list of costs, and then you get it into a simple, what's the main cost here? What is it that it's distracting me from the people I love, or is it that I can't pursue my career the way I want to? And get really specific. What's that main motivating cost? So the motivational statement, you'll have some clear goals, maybe a value or two, and what it means in action and the different domains of our life. So that might be, I value being courageous in my life. That means I'm going to do my ERP homework and my ACT skills homework, and I'm going to go and I'm going to start rejoining a group that I used to go to, a sports group or a music group or a social group of some sort, whatever it might be. So get it. I mean, that's still not as specific. I would want you to get it even more specific than that. But really, what do I want to go towards? And then what is it costing me? It's distracting me from being present with my loved ones, with my partner, with my children, with my friends, whatever it might be. Okay, so get it into a very, very concise statement, and then reflect on that 50 times a day. So 50 times throughout the day, minimum, go through that reflection, really try to take in the words, really think about that long-term picture, the costs, really think about how you would like life to look, the things you want to do with your time, and how you'd want to be focused on those things. really create that picture. You can have an image of it, you can use words, you can journal and write it down, you can record it, you can follow along with practices, values connection practices on this channel. Urge surfing, we have a lot of it in the middle of urge surfing, this motivational connection. And really, and I'll record one after this as well, a guided one, and try and just reflect on that a lot. Think about the meaning of your recovery, why you want to recover, the purpose, those long-term life goals. Put that all together into a statement that you can reflect on a lot. And I think that it's very helpful to, if you are comfortable to reflect on this. So some people with existential OCD or death anxiety might want help with this, or it might be something to build up to. But it can be really helpful to tie this into the existential reality that this is the one life we're aware of, and we don't know how long we have, and time is slipping away, and every 10 minutes, every half an hour is precious. And people who suddenly get a diagnosis or illness, they suddenly realize, gosh, every moment is precious. I've really got to start thinking about what I do with my time. So let's try and get that attitude now before anything like that comes to wake us up. Let's try to wake up consciously that this is our life and it is important how we choose to spend our time, and it's a gift, and let's go for it. Yes, it's really tough. We have these tricky brains and these intrusive thoughts and difficult feelings. At the same time, let's make the best of this life and really go for it. So you can include that existential reflection in there as well. You can think about recovery as well. You can do some analysis of the skills you're working on, the goals you're setting, your towards moves, the actions that take you towards values. You can do a little reflection on how you're getting on with those recovery goals, checking in on it. You can do some intention setting before you go into difficult stuff, reflection after, how it went. When I was working on my OCD recovery during the difficult times, I was thinking about it like this a lot, for big chunks of the day, trying to make it non-compulsive, so I'm not just ruminating and questioning all the uncertainty in recovery, but instead thinking about specific tangible goals and how I'm going to work on them, and then get into action rather than just ruminating about it. And that was very helpful. Much like athletes will think about their sport, they'll visualize how they hit the ball, or their tactical plays, they'll think about it, they'll anticipate how opponents will respond, and they'll really try to understand that. Like chess, people playing chess will study and analyze a chessboard and work out all the potentials from each position. Let's do some of that. Let's think about how I'm gonna crack this recovery thing, and how I'm going to get the right recovery attitude, which is more about things I want to go towards than trying to get rid of anything. What do I want to move towards in my life, and focus on that, and then repeat this statement many times. Repeat it. Have reminders on your phone, set specific times, link it up with having a shower or getting into your car before you drive or anything like that. Tie it in with things you're doing through the day. Do it before exposure work, middle of exposure work if you're struggling, after exposure work if you're dealing with the OCD backlash. Do this motivational reflection many, many times a day for an extended period, and see if it gives you that boost in motivation to really go for your recovery and practice your skills intensely and do your exposure and response prevention courageously.